Hi guys, how are you doing? Today I thought I would come and do another foundation Friday for you. Today's foundation is going to be all about this new foundation that I saw in the Body Shop recently, and it's the Matte Clay Skin Clarifying Foundation. I'm going to try this on. I'm going to put it on with a primer, and then I'm going to go about my day and then come back later on this evening and just show you exactly how the foundation has worn on me. If you didn't know, I do have oily combination skin, so my T-zone area gets quite oily, but the rest of my face is quite normal. I used to have dehydrated skin, but not so much now. My skin has definitely cleared up quite a bit. I do have hyperpigmentation under my eyes as well, which I typically normally don't bother with, but sometimes I will color correct under my eyes as well. I don't really have that much texture on my skin, although I do have like this unwanted visitor right now on my face, so that's a bit annoying. This was £10 in store. Now the shade that I got was the darkest that I saw them do, and this is Santiago Walnut 072. Now for reference, my skin tone, I know everyone who tends to use MAC as their foundation reference. I'll try for you, but I'll be honest, MAC really, they don't know. In MAC, I've been told I'm NW45, NC50. The other day I did a bridal makeup makeover thing and they used NW55 on me. So I don't know what I am in MAC, but I think probably closest to NC50. It says it's the Matte Clay Skin Clarifying Foundation, and it says it has mattifying clay and purifying tea tree. So tea tree is quite good for skincare, if you didn't know. I actually do really love their tea tree toner, so if you haven't tried that, definitely pick it up. It's only £6 in the Body Shop. It says it's 100% vegan, formulated without petrolatum and mineral oil, and it's suitable for sensitive skin, and because it's the Body Shop, they don't test on animals. It's a matte high coverage foundation. It's supposed to be a 24-hour long wear foundation, 24-hour shine control, 24-hour breathable wear, promotes clearer looking skin and non-pore clogging. So I'm gonna assume that the longer you use this, the better this should be for your skin, as in like the more you use it, the better it should be, because it's got the purifying tea tree in it. So that would be interesting. So obviously I can't give you details about how well it did for my skin in, you know, all in all, but I'll probably revisit this and I'll use this quite often and then let you know. I won't be wearing this for 24 hours, but I'll try and wear it for at least around 8 hours or so, and then 24 hours shine control. Now if it's 24 hours shine control, I expect to not be oily or shiny at all, so let's see. It comes in this tube, just a standard size, so you get the 1 fluid ounce or 30 mils. This is like a normal amount that you would get in a foundation, so that's quite good. And I love the fact that it's in a tube, because this is really good for traveling. And this is what the actual applicator looks like, so you can kind of see it's pointed, which is quite nice. I guess it'll be quite good for controlling the product on the inside. First of all, I'm gonna start off with my Viper Venom Micro Blur Primer. It's quite a liquidy foundation, if you can see that. Well, I think I just put way too much on. So for full coverage foundation, high coverage, I thought it would be quite thick, much more thicker than this. This is quite light as well, so fingers crossed this actually works on me. Okay, so I'm just taking my brush and I'm using an M439 brush from Morphe. So, oh my gosh guys, this is so light. Okay, let's see if it buffs in. Now remember, this is the darkest shade that they do. Well, this is what the darkest shade was in store. Okay. I feel like I might have to be mixing this foundation if I like it, because Body Shop, this is not great. It's going on quite easy. Now this is the kind of foundation I want to oxidize on me, just slightly, because it is quite, wow, this is quite a golden undertone. whereas I've got more of a neutral undertone. Yeah, I'd say really buff it into your skin if you're going to work with this foundation, because it definitely needs it. I love a matte foundation. I love mattifying foundations, but this one just, it's actually dry on my skin. Like, it feels slightly tacky, but it actually feels like you don't need powder with it. You can definitely see the difference between this side and this side. Remember guys, I'm only trying this out. This was the darkest shade they had. I brought you in closer. I don't know if you can tell or if you can see, but it just looks quite, maybe on camera it's looking better, but I can definitely, do you know when you can see foundation on your skin? Okay, let's build it up. Gosh, we're only gonna build it up a tiny bit and see if it builds up nicely. But for some reason I feel like it might not. It's a bad man thing, oh Lord of his mercy. Hey, his body baby, hey, his body baby. I don't think I can do anything else to it because it's really like gathered on my nose. I don't know if you can tell, sorry the light's going in and out, I'm just using normal daylight, but it's really gathered on my nose. It looks very cakey. Right, I'm gonna try and go over that with a wet sponge and see if I can. Oh gosh, this is not doing anything. Oh no, the sponge just removed the foundation. I'm going to leave this as it is right now because it's really cakey around my nose. I'm not too sure about this foundation. I think this is one of the first times for me personally that I've not been too impressed with the matte foundation in terms of the way it looks on my skin, because normally I love matte foundations and they're finished, but this one just looks really cakey and it looks like I've got dry skin, which I really don't. Like, you don't even need powder with this foundation, but I am going to use powder because I'm going to put some concealer on. So the concealer's going nicely on top of it. But this concealer, I use the new L'Oreal concealers, the True Match ones, and they're a lot more, they're not luminous, but they're more luminous than this foundation. So I feel the two work quite well together. I want to put some powder on and I want to see what the powder finish looks like with this particular foundation because I'm really curious to see. Okay, the powder actually made it look more flawless. Okay, I look so much better now. Yeah, this foundation is way too light for me. So I'm gonna kind of finish the rest of my face and I'll come back with my final thoughts on this foundation. Okay guys, so this is my face now done. I didn't do anything too drastic with my face today. Well, this is like my go-to kind of look. If you want me to do a video on this kind of look, then please let me know because I'm going back to work and this is kind of the face I would be doing for work. It looks a lot, but it's not, trust me. I have applied bronzer and some highlight on. I also sprayed my NYX setting spray on top of it. Right now my face feels very matte, like very matte. Almost, nearly, slightly bordering on uncomfortable, drying. I used to think that I love this kind of texture and this kind of feel, but actually I don't think I do. So I think already if you are someone that's extremely oily, you might really enjoy this. I don't know. But for me, it just feels very dry. I mean, I did put the powder on and I set my face as well, but that's what I would typically do with my foundations. I wasn't comfortable not powdering down the foundation, even though it does dry down quite quickly. The time now is 11:37. I think you can, oh, okay, it's 11:38 now. So you can just about see that. I will try and come back before it gets too dark. So maybe I'll check in around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock this evening and yeah, let you know my final thoughts on this foundation. Remember, this is supposed to control my shine 24 hours and oil for 24 hours as well. So we're going to be judging that. We're going to be testing it. So anyway, I will see you guys very soon. The time now is 7 o'clock and I have been wearing this foundation for the past, let me see if I know my times. I think I've been wearing it now for just over 7 hours, maybe around about the 7.5 hours. Now this is what my face is looking like. Like, can we see this? Right now I have 2 bright lights on and that's probably where you're getting a lot of the shine from. But in reality, my face is not particularly oily at all. This foundation did claim to be 24-hour long wear, a matte high coverage, 24-hour shine control as well, and 24-hour breathable foundation. So I didn't wear it for 24 hours, but for 7 hours in, this is decent, guys. Like, this is really, really good. I could see myself definitely using this foundation when I need to go out and I want my foundation to last for a long time. Unfortunately for me, the foundation doesn't necessarily match me very well, as you can maybe see there. But in terms of the actual wear of the foundation, I'm really, really impressed with it, guys. I love the way my face is relatively still quite matte compared to how, you know, other foundations would have been after this amount of time. Did it completely control my shine? No, because I'm still getting shiny in my T-zone, but that's generally how things happen for me. However, I feel like if you are somebody that's really oily, you're going to really enjoy this foundation because it's going to keep your oils in place, because my oils haven't really, they're not really coming through a lot. It did feel quite tight on my skin, and I feel like that's because of the tea tree that's in this. If you've ever used tea tree, then you know it does have that kind of drying effect, and I felt like this felt slightly like that on my skin. It's not heavy on the skin, but you definitely feel its presence on there. And I think that was probably a bit my fault as well, because I did use, what do we call it? I did use a powder on top, but I always use a powder on top. I do like it. Will I continue to use it? I probably will continue to use it. I'll probably have to mix some shades, but this is the darkest shade. I really wish they would have expanded their range a bit, because I think they only have like 2 darker shades in the store. And when I checked online, I couldn't find this darker shade online. So I really wish they would sort that out. So I've just brought you in closer just to see what's going on in terms of my nose area, because this is the area that I really have noticed a lot of the issues. So that's where a lot of the foundation around here, it definitely has broken up. Kind of like just gathered around my nose, and on this side too. It's doing the same thing. So this definitely has entered my smile lines. Can you see that? So if I straighten my face, you can kind of see where it has entered my smile lines and kind of creased in there as well. Everything else is still noticeable on my skin. You can still see the bronzer and the contour that I used. My highlight is still there. Nothing else has worn off. This part of my face is where my skin is actually more normal. And you can see that the foundation is still in place, no oils, everything is still there. I know with the color of this foundation, I'm going to have to probably mix it in or get a shade adjuster. Let me just take my brush. I haven't added any more powder to it, but I'm just going to literally just go over where I'm shiniest, and we're back to normal. Foundation is a foundation that is for people with oily skin. If you have dry skin, textured skin, you might find this a bit more difficult to use. I think it works better with an actual brush, because when I did try to use the sponge, it kind of just lifted the foundation off. It dries down quite quickly, so you really need to work quite quickly in putting the foundation in. The powder on top, it looked quite flawless. Didn't feel too heavy on my skin actually, but I definitely felt its presence. I like it, I don't love it, which I'm quite shocked because it's a matte foundation and I typically love matte foundation. So it is something I'm gonna have to kind of try out a bit more. Let me know if you have tried this, if you've picked it up, if you have oily skin and you've tried this. Let me know what you think of it. Have you tried this with dry skin as well? I did read some reviews online, and I think 1 or 2 people with dry skin mentioned that they actually really enjoyed this. So thanks again for watching. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.